Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu and I am back. It is Monday and I am sick. I have a sore throat and it's a little bit better because I took some Dayquil and so it's a little better. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep talking throughout a video here, but I had an idea and I'm really excited about making it work and I want to try to do it and try to do at least some of it before my throat gives out and I have to just do nothing for the rest of the day. I already edited the Unstoppable, which will go up earlier, and if I have to stop this, I'll edit something else and I'll just do that for the day and get my work done on the editing side of things without talking too much. But I have this idea that I want to do. I did this a long time ago, and you can actually see it up on screen now, as a character that I just titled One Shot, One Kill. And I had a cool idea for the character, and it kind of worked. It ended up being an Arcane Archer with Planar Warrior Ranger or Horizon Walker Ranger to use their Planar Warrior feature to add an extra d8 and turn the attack damage into force damage, and then shoot them with an Arcane shot and deal a bunch of damage. But then it was also built out to deal like multiple shots of damage and all that stuff. But I was thinking about it, and it turns out the character that I built then wasn't really the idea that I wanted it to be. So here's the idea, and here's what I want to build toward. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take point by. I might give myself one set of rolled stats just to see, but I think I'm going to take point by, and then point by my stats and build a character toward this specific goal. And it's a weird goal that isn't necessarily a good thing in combat. But what I want to do is I want to sort of white room, which isn't normally what I do. I want to white room optimize a character to deal the absolute most possible damage on one single ranged weapon attack, with surprise from as far a distance as we can possibly do it. So we don't need to build toward extra attack. We don't need multiple attacks from any class features or anything that grants us multiple attack. We're not even going to calculate any of that if we do pick it up because we're in a class that happens to get it and we're just in that class for other reasons. We're not even going to calculate it. All we're building toward is character's ability to set up somewhere and fire one perfect shot. One perfect shot that starts off a combat that we know is happening and is the start of the combat, and hopefully fully eliminates a creature from that combat. But we don't extra attack on them. We don't do anything. All we do is we set up one perfect shot, and we don't care if we have to spend our next turn reloading. We don't care if we have to move away, and if this one shot is all we get. All we're building for is one shot. Is this crazy? Yes. Will this come up in combat frequently? No. We'd have to work really hard to make this come up in combat at any frequency, but if we can make it happen, we can deal insane damage on one bullet or one arrow. And I think that's really fucking cool. I think it's so fucking cool. It's so cool to me. Now, the question for me is, do I use any class features, anything from anywhere to get there? Because there is a class and a particular weapon that is broken. It's too strong. It is, of course, trying to take some gunslinger levels, and of course trying to grab the bad news rifle, which deals 2d12 at an absurd range and is amazing. I think maybe we take it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be viable at most tables, so I'm quite tempted to build something that would be point by and like Adventurers League viable. Something like that, sort of. At least close to something that you could play at almost any DM's table, whether they allow critical role content or not, or whether they'll allow firearm proficiencies or not. I think a lot of games don't, and I think that's cool, and that's fine, so I think I won't build around the gunslinger fighter, and I won't build around the opportunity to use firearms, even if I could. I'm just not going to do it. So then we have some other options. We can use crossbows. We could use a heavy crossbow. It would deal the biggest damage die and have the longest range, and we wouldn't care about reloading, and so that's probably what we're going to do. Probably then on future turns we have to fully reload the crossbow, which sucks. But it is pretty cool. Let me look into the loading property really quickly. Okay, the physical act of loading the bolt is just considered part of the attack, but without Crossbow Master, you can't shoot multiple bolts. So if we can pick up a heavy crossbow, we can fire it once per round with no problem. It's just our action, and we load it as part of the action that we attack with it. We don't have to use another action. It's not like firearms. Wonderful. That's fantastic. So it's not the reload property, it's the loading property. And then, of course, it has the ammunition property. We have to put ammunition in it. There are some ways that we could get around that. We could get around that by being an artificer and getting repeating shot infusion on the crossbow. And then we could shoot it better, and it would be a +1 weapon, and also it would just reload every turn without ammunition, which is nice, but it doesn't really matter that much to us, and I don't think it's worth the Battlemaster dip. It would make us sort of int sad, I guess, sort of, if we wanted to be, but there's nothing else that we want from an int class, really. It would also give us very later on if we took Battlesmith, we could get a couple of things. We could get a couple of bonus action smite spells that would deal some damage even on a ranged weapon attack, and that would be cool. But I think there are other features that just work better for our purposes. So, probably not going to try to build into int at all, and probably not going to build into Battlemaster at all. Coolio, coolio, coolio. I think we're going to need some wisdom and some charisma and some dexterity and some constitution, and that's too many stats. It would be really nice if we could get sad on one of those stats. That would be amazing for us. The thing that's tempting is Hexblade Warlock. Just a 1-level dip to make us charisma sad. Does give us all the proficiencies we need. I think we do it. It can't have the two-handed property, can it? Shit, for a hex weapon? It does give us Branding Smite. And Branding Smite is particularly interesting because it's the next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack, not a melee weapon attack, and it makes a creature visible and not invisible. And Hexblade Warlock does get that at 2nd level, which would make it worth it for us to go 2 more and get invocations and get a Pact of the Blade, which would let us use our heavy crossbow, right? Maybe. All of this is just to make us sad, to make us single attribute dependent, but it's still really, really good. So if we're point buying, we could be 15 Ka, we could be 14 or 13 wisdom. Either one works. 14 would be better, but we'll see. We'll still need a 14 in dexterity, though we could bump it with racials, and a 12 in constitution. And this would be our start. Are there any invocations that really help us? Except for later, obviously, improved pact weapon and even Eldritch Smite help us, because that counts as a weapon attack. And of course, we could take Thirsting Blade, but we won't. But that's only if we get up to 5th for both of those. And neither of them are really worth it at 3rd, except Improved Pact Weapon, which still gives us a +1 to our weapon, and it gives us 2 spell slots with which we can cast 2nd level Branding Smite, right? That's pretty good. Now, if we were 3 in Artificer instead, I know I have to switch some things around. I'm going to drop my con and switch this and drop this and switch this, just that I can choose Artificer and see what we would get. We would get maybe Repeating Shot or Enhanced Weapon for a +1 to our weapon. We would want to be Battlesmith. We could be Int Sad, and we would get Branding Smite at 5th level, only when we get extra attack. Way later. And of course, we get a Steel Defender, which is cool. We only get 1st level spells. We still get Shield, which is nice, but we can get that anyway. Nothing else competes. Okay, not Artificer. I do think the Warlock start might be worthwhile for this character. Those spells are huge for us. And we start off with medium armor and the weapon proficiencies. We just don't get to use our heavy crossbow until level 3, but we can still use a hand crossbow? No, we can't use a short bow because it's two-handed. That fucking sucks. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna do this. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. I am going to drop that intelligence back down to an 8 because I don't need it. I'm going to take the 12 in con. I'm going to bump the whiz to 14. I'm going to see about racials in a second, but first I'm going to go gladiator. And the reason is because we get a weapon at level 1, and it can be a quote-unquote inexpensive but unusual weapon, but that list includes hand crossbows, which are expensive and unusual, and we're going to take that all the way to the bank. We also get an instrument. We're not going to be playing much, but we'll grab a flute. Okay, equipment. We get an inexpensive but unusual weapon, a hand crossbow. We'll also take the leather armor, any simple weapon, and 2 daggers. I guess we could get a light crossbow and sell it, but I'm going to just say we get another dagger. A Dungeoneer's pack, a focus, maybe a rod. That's nice. And we will take that light crossbow and 20 bolts, but we will use the bolts for our hand crossbow mostly. And we have a love letter. Aw, nice. Okay, we're going to equip the hand crossbow. We're going to equip the leather armor. Yikes. If we gold buyed, we could get some medium armor because we're a hexblade, level 1. But we're not going to do that because we really want that hand crossbow, and it's solidly possible that with 4d4 times 10 gold randomized that we won't get enough to get both armor and a hand crossbow because the hand crossbow is 75 gold, and then scale mail, or and then a chain shirt is 50. So that's not good. that's not good for us. But we will say perhaps that we can sell at some point in the next couple of levels, sell this light crossbow for maybe 10 gold. So we end up with 25. Nice. And then over the next couple of levels, we will definitely make some money, and we're going to save it all because we need things that we got to buy things soon. And so we're going to grab some proficiencies. We get athletics or acrobatics and performance, which aren't amazing for us. We are going to warlock it up with deception and... Oh, it would be so good to have stealth. Oh yeah, I know where we're getting stealth. Never mind. We'll grab deception and... intimidation. We might as well have... I'm gonna fucking shoot you. It works. We're going to be a bugbear because there's nothing better if you're trying to murder things in surprise rounds. If you surprise a creature and hit it with an attack on your first turn in combat, the attack deals an extra 2d6 damage to it. You can use this trait only once per combat, and that's all that matters to us. Lovely. We also get sneaky. We're proficient with stealth. Very important for setting up. We are powerful build. We are long-limbed. We're not making use of either of those, really. Base walking speed is 30. We're chilling. We are going to switch around those stats. Ari Tasha's. Oops, that's the details page. That's not where I want to go. Change the race. Oh, no. Tasha's stuff. Right. Optional features and customize your origin. Nice. Class. Race. Origin manager. Switch the ability scores. Great. So we get a +2 and a +1. I think we put our +2 into Ka because we're Ka sad. And then I think actually we're going to drop one from dexterity and put it in wisdom. I don't want to do that. Put it in constitution and then bump our dex. So we end up with a 13 in Ka, a 14 in dex, because we don't need it higher than this 14. It would be nice to be more sneaky, or if we were dex building, but I'm going to build around Ka for reasons, mostly spells. Yeah, I think this is good. I do want that wisdom score, because I am going to go some ranger. It's just, we're going to do it. It's really good. Okay. This is cool to me. Level 1, level 1, level 1. So let's grab those spells that we can get. We get some cantrips and we get some other stuff. We don't really need Eldritch Blast as a damage cantrip. It would be nice to have something to get stuff off of us in melee, but we can of course stab things with a dagger moderately effectively. I guess a cantrip will be more useful for us. Maybe we grab Toll the Dead as an at-will damage option. For when creatures are in range of us, or when they're too close. It deals a good bit of damage. It's good. Or we grab Minor Illusion to set ourselves up some cover. Or both. So let's do both. Okay, I think that's good. First level spells. You can grab Hex. It's going to increase your damage every round, which is worthwhile. And I think at this level, we probably will use it. It won't factor probably into our big damage calc, but actually we could bonus action cast it at this level, so we might as well. And then I think Shield, and I think that's all we get. Wrathful Smite only applies on melee weapons. Thunderous Smite only applies on melee weapons. All of the Smite spells only apply on melee weapons, but of course that's the only one we get, and it still doesn't work for us. Yikes. But Hex might. Hex does. It does have a 60-foot range. Oh, it has a 90-foot range. That's actually neat. Great. We just have to be quiet when we cast it, but hopefully we can do that. If we can't, then don't even use it, because our damage is great without it. Okay, we still have 1 point of abilities to put somewhere. I don't know where I can put that to be happy. Maybe we take this down and we go up a few. I don't think so. I think we'll just put our int to our strength, or maybe our int to a 9. Yay! We can't put it anywhere else. We might as well use it. Okay. First level, level 1. We have a hand crossbow and 13 armor class. Yikes, but we're going to stay far away from people, at least 30 feet away from them, which is not great, but it is okay. We're going to try to sneak up on creatures, and we're going to try to, with our stealth proficiency, which is pretty good. Our stealth is +4. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's not rogue stuff, but it's not bad. We're going to try to sneak up on somebody and perform our surprise attack. If we can, we will bonus action hex them before we do this, giving us an extra d6, and we're going to assume that we managed to do that. We also have turned our hand crossbow, of course, into our hex weapon, and so it's 1d6 +3, and it's +5 to hit. So if we hit on our surprise attack with advantage, we get 1d6 +3 plus 2d6 from sneaky, plus 1d6 from hex, 4d6 plus total of 3, 14... 17 damage on that first big round, which is great. And then our average damage every round is just 2d6 +3, which is still good. It's still 10 average damage per round every round after that without much of a problem. Also, technically, if we can buy one, we could pick up a shield. And we could... Oh, no, we can't. We can't with the hand crossbow. We have to reload it with a free hand. Never mind. Ignore me. We also have low hit points. Still, I think we can survive. We stay away from everything. We deal really good initial damage. At level 1, dealing 17 damage to a creature takes them out of the fight, pretty much. We instantly eliminate a creature if we get to sneak up on them, which we're going to assume that we do, and we shoot them, and then we deal damage. And then for future rounds, we move Hex or cast Hex and move it around, and hopefully that lasts us its whole hour, and we don't take any damage, and we survive until level 2. Wonderful, we get invocations. Take whatever you want. They're not that important right now, because they don't matter that much. Just make sure that one of them is something that you want to hold on to for a while, because I don't think we're going past 3 in Warlock. We could, but I don't think we will. I think I'm going to pick up Devil's Sight just so we can see in all of the darkness, because that's really cool for being a sniper, just in case. We don't have a way to make ourselves a magical darkness bubble, but if it ever comes up, it'll be very useful. And it's very good for us to be more sneaky and stuff. It's great. And then I think I'm partial to one of the just valuable ones. So Armor of Shadows to cast Mage Armor on yourself for free at will is really nice. Would bump our AC by 1 or by 2 right now, which is super good, and we could just have it up all the time. Fiendish Vigor would just give us more hit points because we could cast False Life on ourselves all the time. And Mask of Many Faces would just give us for free Disguise Self. Any of those 3 I would take for this level, and then I think I would plan to switch them out. I wouldn't want to switch out Devil's Sight because I think it's more useful, but it's up to you. You could just take Armor of Shadows and have Mage Armor for the rest of your career and just be running with that, and that's pretty good. As good as the cheapest medium armor we could get, but I don't think that's for me. I think I would take... probably Fiendish Vigor just to survive this level, put some temp HP on myself, hopefully survive the level, do okay. That's really all we get at this level. We get one more known spell. Nothing here is super valuable, so choose whatever you want. Maybe Armor of Agathis, but the temp HP doesn't stack with Fiendish Vigor, so probably not that. Maybe Arms of Hadar as a get off of me. Regardless, whatever you take whatever you want. We get an additional spell slot, and that's all that we get, really, at this level. Cool. On to level 3, where we will actually do a report, because things change significantly for us at this level. We're going to pick up Back to the Blade, but not for the reasons you might expect, and we get to switch out one of our Eldritch Invocations, so I think I'm going to say at level 3, we're a little bit healthier, so Fiendish Vigor loses a little bit of its value, still really good. But we can pick up improved packed weapon, and that is very nice, and we would like to have it right now. So we get it immediately. We gain a +1 to our attack and damage rolls with the packed weapon. We can use the weapon as a spellcasting focus for warlock spells, and it can be a short bow, longbow, light crossbow, or heavy crossbow, and our hex power extends to it regardless of what kind of build or what kind of weapon it is. More importantly, we don't even have to buy it, I guess, so we don't even have to save up for it. So we will say that we have saved up at this point and just purchased a chain shirt. It's not much, but it's honest work. Okay, we grab ourselves a chain shirt. It bumps our armor class by a full 2 points. Boom. And we're going to unwield our hand crossbow, and in fact, we're going to sell it. Maybe we sold it and needed some of that gold to get our chain shirt, but we're going to sell it for 30 gold. So 55, which would have been just enough to buy a chain shirt. Of course, I'm going to assume we made more money during adventuring. We could also sell off our leather. I'm not going to count money too much now because we're kind of done with money needing things. I'm going to get rid of the hand crossbow because we don't need it anymore. We have a heavy crossbow, and we have summoned it with our Pact of the Blade. Of course, if you can get yourself a magic heavy crossbow, I mean, do that, but probably you can't, because your team is like, nah. However, we can grab our heavy crossbow and make it our packed weapon, and then make it our hex weapon, and now it's special. So, it has a range of 100 to 400, which is much better than it was before. Let me get rid of unarmed strike. We can still shoot it once per round. It deals a d10 instead of a d6, which is very nice. It uses our charisma modifier for attack and damage, and it's a +1 weapon. So it's even better than it was before. So if we can sneak up to somebody and do our thing, our damage goes up in a couple of ways. Couple of different ways, because we also get some second level warlock spells. We have 2 second level warlock spell slots that won't mix with any other spell slots that we get from elsewhere, but we can pick up Branding Smite. The next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, the weapon gleams with astral radiance as you strike. The attack deals an extra 2d6 radiant damage to the target, which becomes visible if it is invisible, and it sheds dim light in a 5-foot radius and can't become invisible until the spell ends. Oh, nice. Now, this is a concentration spell, so Hex no longer has value to us, really, except for our overall round-by-round damage in the future, so it might be worth it to cast Branding Smite with our first spell slot on our Sneaky Sneak round, and then cast Hex on our next bonus action. It's kind of nice to have our bonus action free on this character, honestly, because we can do something like Hex a creature, shoot them once, hopefully kill them, move it, whatever, or Branding Smite, shoot them, Branding Smite ends. They're glowing, but we probably don't care, so we just Hex them on our next turn and then shoot them again. Regardless, either one is good. Maybe we keep Hex around just for that reason alone. It's up to you, I think. We could pick up Shadow Blade, but we won't. I think Branding Smite is the move for me. And we could pick up Invisibility to get ourselves into position if we really need to. I think that makes sense materially for our character. We could have also, of course, pick up Darkness and have that be our future concentration and be making our attacks with advantage every time. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a darkness bubble, maybe on the enemy, maybe on ourselves, and get closer to them than we want to be, but it's still probably worth it. But we're going to make a darkness bubble sometimes when we have the chance after our big boom boom round. It'll give us a lot of consistent damage every round afterward. But we have basically 3 good old second level concentration options. They are Hex to deal more damage every round, but it's not going to scale as well for us because we're not going to be making multiple attacks. Darkness to get advantage on that attack every round. That's pretty cool. If we could pick up a familiar somewhere, maybe that would be cooler, but I don't think we are going to, so meh. And Branding Smite, which is just on a bonus action, we deal more damage. So we're Warlock 3, we have our heavy crossbow now, and we have Branding Smite. So on our first big boom boom round, we deal 1d10 plus 4. We're hopefully hitting them with surprise. We deal an extra 2d6, so 2d6 to them from our sneak attack, and we deal an extra 3d6, or sorry, an extra 2d6 from Branding Smite. So we deal 4d6 plus 1d10. So it's the same damage as before, +1, because our weapon has gone up to a +4 instead of a +3. But now we just get a full 1d10 on top of that because of the big boom booms. And we don't get Smite, but I'm sorry, we don't get Hex, but of course we get Branding Smite, which for this round still counts as more damage. So our total damage goes up by 5.5 plus 1, so 6.5 on top of our 17 is 23.5 damage on that one attack to start. That's pretty good. That's pretty dang good. Obviously, we're burning a spell slot to make it happen, but we have 2. And we can still make them be glowing and help all our friends. Or we can, the next round, cast Hex on that creature from 90 feet away and continue to shoot them every round for 1d6 less damage, 3d6 plus 10. Oh, I'm sorry, but of course we don't get sneaky, so it's just 1d10 plus 1d6 plus 4. Which is the same as an Eldritch Blaster at this level, I understand. But they couldn't have been doing Branding Smite, and that's different. And also they wouldn't have had Sneaky, so that's different. Or our Sneaky Surprise Attack with Bugbear, so that's different. We deal pretty good one-round sneak attack, like sneaky damage, and that's cool. Let's make it way better. So there are a lot of options here. Ranger is really good, and we'd like to get some Ranger levels now. We would also like to get some Rogue levels now. But I think we're going to take the Ranger levels first, because it adds a bunch of things to our initial damage in a kind of a weird and cool way, but it still is worth it weirdly for our initial rounds. So we're going to take Ranger level 1. We can do this because we have the Dex for it and we have the Wisdom for it. This is why we took Wisdom. We could take only 13 in Wisdom, and we wouldn't be that much worse. It's fine. We're going to use the optional features Deft Explorer, and we're going to use Favored Foe from Ranger. We're going to use both. We get 2 languages. Take whatever you want. I'm going to grab Undercommon, and because we are a goblinoid, right? Maybe we know some dwarves. Cool. And we get a proficiency. I'm sorry, we actually get an expertise, not a new proficiency. We get a new proficiency from the Ranger skill list. I think we probably take Perception because it makes us a better sniper. And then we get an expertise, and we take Stealth so that we can make our setup and our chances of getting our surprise attack way, way better. Way better. We also get the Favored Foe feature, which is, when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can call upon a mystical bond to mark the target as your favorite enemy for 1 minute, or until you lose concentration. So this breaks any other concentration, but the concentration that we're going to have on our first attack is going to be Branding Smite. And we don't care if that concentration ends as soon as we hit the creature, because it deals its damage as soon as we hit the creature, and then it just makes them lit up and they can't go invisible. So there's no reason, without a reaction, without any thing for us, that we don't want to use our concentration to add a d4 to that attack. And then we don't have to keep that concentration because we can cast another spell our next round if we want to, maybe Hex, and just get a d6 every round on our one attack instead. It's probably better. Or we could just not use our concentration for anything else and just get a repeatable d4 on our attack against that creature every turn until they die that we can't move to somebody else, but that's still pretty good, and it still counts for our Nova round, which is really good. This is a lot of why we're in Ranger. It's part of why we're in Ranger, at least. I like it a lot. I think it's very cool, and it's not as good as Hunter's Mark, but we don't have to spend anything on it except a use of the thing, which counts as a number of times equal to our proficiency bonus, and we regain them every long rest, so it'll scale even if we don't take a lot more Ranger. Nice. All we get to add to our Nova now is 1d4 of extra damage, but that's okay. So we add 2.5 to it. It goes up to 26 total on our big boom on our first attack, right? Cool. And of course, we're ending our concentration immediately on Branding Smite, but who cares? Who cares? We end it. It's done. We ended it. Okay, who cares? I don't mind that one bit. Totally fine by me. Okay. So that's our level 4. We get that. That's super nice. We love to have it. It's a little bit more damage. It's not amazing, but it is a little bit more damage. We'll grab the Primal Awareness feature for 3rd level Ranger, because we are going to go up to 3rd level Ranger, and it's just a little bit better than Primeval Awareness. So first off, let's go to character level 5 and get a Fighting Style and Ranger Spellcasting. Nice. This is part of the other reason that we're here. We're here for Archery, because we would love to have a +2 bonus to attack rolls with ranged weapons. This doesn't factor into the way that I calculate damage, but it's huge if you're actually calculating damage against creatures with a real armor class. Whether you're surprise attacking them or not, whether you have advantage or not, +2 to hit is amazing. It's really good. We also get Ranger spell casting. The only things that are really tempting here are Hail of Thorns, which deals an extra d10 on a saving throw, which doesn't count as a crit. It's from the weapon. It's from the explosion of damage. As extra piercing damage to that creature and in an AoE around the creature. And it's a bonus action and it's concentration, so we wouldn't be able to use Branding Smite. And we could use Ensnaring Strike, which would work as well. They have to make a strength saving throw, and they get stuck in vines, and they take damage every time they move out of them. But it doesn't count as direct damage on top of our attack. All of these things are cool if you want more versatility in the thing that you set up with your attack, to deal some AoE damage with Hail of Thorns, or to deal some damage and like restrain a creature and make it hard for them to move around, and deal a bunch of damage every time they do. That's all really cool. You could also take Zephyr Strike, use a bonus action at any point and concentrate on it and move around a lot, which is cool and useful for a ranger and for a ranged attacker. And then you get advantage on one weapon attack, and that attack deals an extra 1d8, which is cool, and you can move faster. It's one of my favorite spells in the game, and only rangers get it unless you're like a bard who takes magical secrets. Spoilers. But I don't think any of these are terribly useful, because for my Nova purposes, I guess Hail of Thorns upcast to 2nd level would be more damage, but it doesn't count on our attack, and it doesn't fucking crit, so it's not that great. I think we would take Fog Clouds, that we can obfuscate and be a sniper who gets away out of dodge for free, right? Because that's cool. And maybe Long Strider, so we can, with concentration, run away really far. The other cool thing about Ranger 2 is that our spell slots are oil and water. They don't mix. So we get a couple of Ranger spell slots and a couple of Warlock spell slots, and they're different. And we could just use the Ranger spell slots on things that are non-concentration that last a long time, and then use our Warlock spell slots on all our big boom boom stuff. And that's really cool, because our Warlock slots are 2nd level. This is nice. We have kind of a lot of spell slots and some good features and some good damage. Let's round it out to level 3 in Ranger, level 6 total, and then we'll talk about our damage output, because here things get crazy. Pretty much every Ranger subclass has a way to add damage to one attack per round, and it's up to you which one you want to choose. But the most consistent of them is Hunter Colossus Slayer. A creature that is down below its maximum hit points takes an extra 1d8 damage once per turn. However, since we're planning on getting surprised, this creature is not in combat already. This would bump our later damage a lot, but not our initial damage at all. The Monster Slayer gets to designate a creature and deal an extra d6 damage to that creature the first time they hit them with a weapon attack every turn, which lasts until a short rest, and it just ends early if you designate a different creature, so it's non-concentration, but it does cost a bonus action, and it's only a d6. Still a good option. It bumps your future continuous damage quite a bit, and is maybe the best option for that reason. You also get some cool spells, I guess, but whatever. I think most people think of the Gloomstalker because it's a really good option. They have that invisibility and darkness, which is amazing. And at the start of each of their first turns in combat, they get to move faster, and they can make one additional weapon attack. There's no reason that can't be your first weapon attack. And then if that attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d8 of the weapon's damage type. So it could be a crit because you're surprising them, and you get a second attack for free at level 3 in a class, which is amazing. And it deals an extra d8, which is free, which is amazing, and technically it would count for a one round, one-shot damage, but it doesn't actually, right? And it's a second attack, and it's really good. So maybe we take this and we just count it as the extra 1d8 on our first attack, and we just know that we deal an extra attack of damage as well, which is good. It's just good to deal another attack of damage, and we don't have to burn a bonus action or anything for free, and we get a bonus to our initiative equal to our wisdom rolls, to our wisdom modifier. It's really strong. Gloomstalker's busted. And then there's the other option that I took before, which is Horizon Walker. You get some cool spells. Misty Step, Haste, Banishment eventually. Way later. You can detect portals, but that has to be a thing in your campaign, and it might not be. You can bonus action designate a creature within 30 feet of you, which sucks. The next time you hit them with a weapon attack, it deals an extra 1d8, which is nice, and you can do this every round if you use your bonus action, which is nice, and it's not concentration, which is nice. But then, and if you go to 11, it increases to 2d8. It's cool, but it's our bonus action every round. Unlike Gloomstalker, I think I'm going to take Gloomstalker, and we're just going to ignore the fact that we get an extra attack, because I don't care about it for my purposes. It just still gives us, at this level, it gives us the extra 1d8 of damage of the weapon's damage type on an additional weapon attack as part of that action. And we can make that additional weapon attack be our first weapon attack. There's no reason it can't be. It can be the first one. And so it can sneak attack, and it can crit, and it can be all on that damage, and we count it. But we don't count an additional weapon attack, okay? So our only damage increase is 1 extra d8. Still, that's 4.5 extra damage on top of our 26, taking us to 30.5, and we can reliably do that on our first round of every combat, whether we have surprise or not, but hopefully we have surprise that we get all our other stuff and make the other stuff that's making sneaky and surprise attack and all our good goblin-y things happen. Cool? I think this makes sense to me. We're also full invisible in darkness, and our dark vision is 60 feet, and now it's 90 feet, because that's great. It was already 120 feet in darkness and magical darkness, so this isn't that much better, but we can evade creatures. We are invisible to creatures that try to see us in the dark, and that's really cool. We're just fully invisible to creatures in the dark if they're using dark vision to see us. That means that we are much better at getting our surprise round, and that's really good. Also, technically, our surprise round has a second attack, and that second attack deals 1d8 plus 4, and that's really good. Maybe it deals something else to it. I don't know. Depends on what other things you use and what you have, but for now, we're not going to calc our damage going up. Still, looking at our character sheet, because we should look at our character sheet to make this happen so that I edit it properly. 1d10 plus 4, still the same as I've calced before. We have favored foe to add on to that with the d4 after we drop our concentration on the branding smite. We're still using our bonus action to do branding smite. We do get a full additional attack during this turn, and that's really cool, but we're not even going to calculate it. You can just remember that it's there and be like, this is stronger than he's even calculating for, and you're right. It gets 8.5 damage. Oh, no, 9.5, 5.5 plus 4. It gets 9.5 additional damage per round, more if you have Hex on them, but you won't. It's amazing. It's super duper 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 D strong. It's so good. We're so strong. We shoot things so hard for one round at level 6. We shoot them so hard. And then we shoot them hard again multiple times in the next rounds. No prob. We do big boom boom. Awesome. I love it. I love it. So I would love to be an Arcane Archer. It's another way to add damage to our attacks relatively consistently, at least to the first one, for sure. But Arcane Archer is built around our intelligence modifier, and also it's not that good. It would add 2d6, and it would take us 3 levels of fighter. We would get to pick up a fighting style, and we'd get to pick up Action Surge. Action Surge is cool. Would let us get another attack during our first round of combat. Wait. If you take the attack action on that turn, you can make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action. If we take the attack action and we take Action Surge, do we get another attack? Do we get 2 and 2? I think we do. I think based on the writing, if you take the attack action, you can make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action. So if you take another action and you take the attack action, you get another one. That's really cool. I'm not going to build around it because it's too many more attacks that we don't care about for this character's build. I think that's probably the optimal thing to do, is to be like, I shoot you 4 times with Action Surge, blah, 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 blah. And I think at that point, if you just hex them round 1 with your bonus action, you'll deal more damage just with that than with using like Branding Smite. And that's really cool, but I still only care about 1 shot because that's how I'm building this character. It's toward a specific goal. I don't think we gain anything more out of Ranger, out of going further into Ranger. I just don't think we get anything. At 7th, we get proficiency in Wisdom saving throws. We can get Hide in Plain Sight. We can get Stalker's Flurry. We can miss with a weapon attack and make another weapon attack, which is cool. We can shadowily dodge. Yeah, okay, all these things are neat. I don't want any of them. I don't care. So we're finally doing it. Maybe we should have done it at level 1. Sue me. Maybe we should do it now. Probably. We're going to pick up 3 levels in Rogue. Boom. We are Rogue 1 at character level 7. We get 1 additional proficiency. Sleight of hand, sneaky, steal stuff. We get 2 expertises. We might grab Thieves' Tools now. Maybe we grab perceptions to be a better sniper. Maybe acrobatics to get higher and get off of higher things when we're sniping. Great. We get 1d6 of extra sneak attack, which will occur on our surprise round, so our damage goes up by 3.3. So it's 33.5 on that one attack. Nice. We can also, technically at level 3 in Rogue, we can use a bonus action to gain advantage on our next attack roll. So if we have enough turns to set up, and we're all set up, we can bonus action Branding Smite, and then bonus action give ourselves advantage, and then fire. And that's cool. But if we're already doing surprise, we already have advantage, so it doesn't really matter that much for our purposes. In the future, it might be useful, but not for now. We're still only level 7. Let's go up to level 8. Boom. We still haven't had an ASI. Yikes. That's okay, because we have the +1 weapon, which is really good, and I think that's fine with me. I'm cool. I'm chilling. It doesn't matter. We get Cunning Action. Now we can use our bonus action to dash, disengage, or hide. We have a lot more mobility and utility and stuff, and we can do a bunch of things. That's really great. And we can go faster. That's super great. Doesn't up our damage. Rogue level 3 does, though. So 2 things. First, we get another d6 of sneak attack, so we go up to 37. Total sneak damage. Nice. And we're going to go the one and only one rogue archetype that we really want to go. Of course, we could go scout and be skirmishy and running around a bunch, and that's neat, but that's not for us. We're an assassin, baby. It's what we've been waiting for. We get Assassinate. We have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. Nice. We probably can proc that for 2 rounds in a row because we're going to be still trying to get our surprise round. And in addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit automatically. Oh man, I've forgotten how many dice we're dealing now, so I'm going to have to recalculate it, but we're still going to do that. So our whole game plan is the same, but we're just way better at it. Also, technically, we can put poison on our arrow beforehand, and maybe we want to count that in our big damage, but it is kind of insane to calc that. I know that like Colby has calculated damage in for his Assassin build and calculated poison damage for the big boom booms, and that's really cool. Maybe we'll do it at the very end to add some crazy poison to it and see what you could actually get up to. But for our consistent damage, I'm not going to consider that you're using a bonus action to poison your thing or an action to poison your arrow. I'm just going to go without doing that and say that we crit, and that's it. Okay, cool. So we get our 2d6 from sneak attack. We get our 2d6 from surprise attack once per combat. So that's 4d6 from sneak attacks. We get our 1d4 of favored foe. We get our 2d6 of branding smite. And then we get our 1d10 of crossbow, correct? I think that's everything. So that's 6d6, 1d10, and 1d4, which is all doubled because it's a crit to 2d10 plus 12d6 plus 2d4. Oh boy. So it's 20, 60, 72... plus 8 is 80. So it's 100 damage on the dice. As just half the dice. And then it's a total of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 dice. So plus 8 from dice. 108 plus 4. So suddenly our one shot big boom boom damage is 112. And let me look into the poisoner's kit. So it's not really calculable anyway, unless we're counting purple worm poison, which is bullshit. I'm not going to add 12d6 and consider it damage that we can do. You just cost 12,000 gold, 2,000 gold pieces to buy a vial of poison, and you get to deal fucking 7,000 damage. Let's go. I don't think that's what we're building toward here. So we're just going to stick with our simple, basic, measly 112 sneak attack crit damage. By the way, I do think it's worth mentioning that your second Gloomstalker attack also crits for another 2d10 plus 4. That's kind of nice. It's kind of more than a kind of nice. It's really strong, but I'm not even calculating it in. But just realize that it's 11. It's another 15 damage on top of that if you take that Gloomstalker extra attack. I'm just calculating for the one shot, one kill. But if you want to, you can shoot somebody else for 15 damage and be happy with that. Good for you. Good for you. So now we are a triple classed Warlock, Ranger, Rogue. And that's pretty cool. What next? Well, we got some options. We could just go straight Rogue and just keep bumping our sneak attack for forever. And that would probably be the most consistent way to deal more damage on that thing, right? 3d6, 4d6, 5d6, 7d6, 8d6, 9d6, etc., all the way up until we get like Death Strike, and then we deal a con save, and then they take double the damage, right? It's double the damage, which is awesome. Death Strike is so cool. It makes things dead. Okay. But, well, there's a spell that I still want, and it's a 5th level spell. And I think there are 2 ways at this character level that we could go ahead and we could get it. And I think those 2 ways are, we can go up to 9th level in Warlock, or beyond, to get eventually a 3rd spell slot, and a bunch of other goodies, and better invocations, and more invocations. And that's super duper viable, I think. I think it's super duper viable. I think the other option is that we go 10 in Bard to get up to it. I think we get to it faster if we go Warlock. We get more spell slots that we can use on other things if we go Bard. And if we go Swords Bard, we get to use some of our Bardic Inspirations on our Big Nova as sort of for free, right? I still think it's viable to go full into Hexblade Warlock, and because of Eldritch Smite, it might be worthwhile to do that. Let me check really quickly if we go 9 in Warlock, or actually we could go a full like 11 in Warlock, let's say. What invocation options do we get? Do we get any invocations that like change my mind and make it way better? No, the only thing is Eldritch Smite, which is you burn a Warlock spell slot to deal 1 plus the spell slot's level extra force damage, and that's really good, but we can still pick that up in a couple levels if we just go up to 5th level in Pact of the Blade, and it's the only one that we really want. So there's no reason for us to go that much further, except that it would get us further in Warlock and get us an extra spell slot and make us just better, and we would just be better. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to do that. So we're going to go 2 more in Warlock at this point in our character's career. We are level 9. I think we're going to take 2 more in Warlock and get up to level 11. Boom, bam. We'll take the ASI, and we'll put both of them into our Charisma. Finally, we max our Ka. Right? We're up to... Wait, we end up at 19 Charisma. Oh. Right. So maybe we take a half feat instead? Oh, yeah, I know exactly what we take instead. Great. We take a half feat instead. Oh, it only bumps our strength or dex. That's right. Shit. Damn, that actually murders me. I hate that. Okay, we still need to bump our Ka. Maybe we just don't do this. No, we still need to bump our Charisma. Okay, well, we have two stats that need to be rounded out. We'll take +1 Con, +1 Ka at this level. That's fine. There's something else that I wish we could take, but we really don't have a use for taking it. That's unfortunate. I wanted to take Piercer and then deal more damage, and we still might, just because the effect of it is great when we have feats that we don't need. But for now, we're just going to take the ASI and put it into Con and Ka. Con, Charisma, all our damage goes up by 1, just by 1. Just 1. And then it goes up by a lot more because we get Eldritch Smite, which is actually why we went this far into Warlock for now. We hit character level 11. I'm not going to do a stat thing for now. I'm going to do it at 13, but it's not going to change much before then. We also get 3rd level spell slots and 3rd level Warlock spells, which are cool, but none of them adds more damage to our 1 attack than what we already have. Except maybe Elemental Weapon, but it's concentration. It's just for duration. It has +1 bonus to attack rolls, but we already have that. I think we would pick up Counter Spell because it's good, and Thunderstep to get the fuck out of dodge, because it's good. Okay, our damage does change, but we won't worry about it for another 2 levels. Of course, again, we could go straight into Warlock and get more damage and get there faster, but I still want to go fully 9, which will take us to character level 20, into Bard to get a 20th level character that's super dope. So we're going to go Bard. Boom. Feels like I missed something, or maybe I miscalculated something. What am I missing? 8th. Oh, wait, we can't get to Bard 10, can we? I fucked up. I have fucked up now. Bard doesn't work. Right, we just get 5th level Bard spells, but Bards don't get the spell that I want at 5th level. I need Magical Secrets at 10. So, either we don't go 5 in Hexblade and we remove that blinding, that smite damage, the Eldritch Smite, or we just go all Hexblade. So, I'm sorry. We're going to backtrack. We're not actually going to take Whispers Bard. We're going to go 9 into Hexblade, and then we'll finish off in Rogue, probably. Whoops. Okay, cool. When do we get a 3rd Warlock spell slot? At 11. Okay. We might go all the way there. Regardless, we go to 6 in Warlock. We get the Spectre. It's cool. We go to 7 in Warlock. We get 4th level Warlock spells and a new invocation. For our new invocation, you can take whatever you want. Maybe Relentless Hex. It's cool. Maybe Maddening Hex. Bonus action damage every round. That's pretty cool. I think if you're a real character, you do grab Thirsting Blade because it just adds another attack every round, and that's amazing. But we're not going to worry about it. We're going to grab Maddening Hex. It's not going to work for us super well, but we're going to grab it. Okay. 8th level. An ASI. Okay, so I've removed my ASIs now. So where am I at? I'm just at 18. Great. So we're going to finish off our Charisma. Charisma. Great. And then that bumps our damage all by 1, and we did that already. 9. 5th level Warlock spells, and a new Eldritch Invocation. Which ones are 9th only? Oh, Levitate at will. Yes, we're going to take Ascendant Step and be able to cast Levitate at will on ourselves without expending anything. Really great for a sniper, especially in the dark. You can just float above people and rain down hell upon them and surprise them with it. Nothing more surprising than a levitating sniper, right? And of course, we still have Thunder Step to bounce if we want to. And every level that our spell slots have gone up, our damage has gone up by a d6 for blinding or branding smite, which is awesome. But now at 5th level, it changes a lot because we're going to take Banishing Smite. Staggering Smite is sweet, but it's a melee weapon attack only. Shadow of Moil is sweet, but it only works within a short range of us, so it's not worth it for us. Spirit Shroud is sweet. It works on every attack, and that's a great concentration damage option, but that's not what we want. We want Banishing Smite, because when you hit a creature with a weapon attack before this spell ends, your weapon crackles, and the attack deals an extra 5d10 force damage to the target. Our Branding Smite at 5th level spell slots is dealing 2 at a 2nd level, 3, 4, 5 d6s. So we would now be dealing 5 d10s of force damage. And if it reduces a creature to 50 hit points, they're banished. They're just gone. If they're native to a different, just like the banishment spell, which is amazing. So we grab this, and it is our 5th level spell. And it's the only one we really care about. You can grab whichever other ones you want. They're awesome. They're amazing. I would say keep Blinding Smite around, probably. Just our Branding Smite around in case you need to use it, but get like Synaptic Static or something, or maybe Hold Monster, or maybe Far Step to just be able to teleport around all the time. Whatever you want, I don't care. I'm here for the Branding Smite. And we're going to go 2 more levels into Warlock because it'll give us our last spell slot that we will get, or our 3rd spell slot, which is great. We get Armor of Hexes, which means things basically don't hit us a lot of the time, which is amazing. And at 11, we get a Mystic Arcanum, and it's a 6th level spell, and we can get whatever we want. Pick whatever you want. Soul Cage is cool, but weird. Eyebite is really strong, but concentration. Scatter is neat and interesting, can be used on your whole party, honestly, instead of using it as on enemies. Gate is crazy cool. There are a lot of spells you could use as your Mystic Arcanum, whatever you want. Maybe Mass Suggestion. Yeah, I'll take Mass Suggestion. Doesn't really matter. More importantly, at 11th level, we get 3 spell slots. We don't get any higher level spell slots, but we get 3 5th level ones. And that's really nice. And we get our 1 6th level cast of Mass Suggestion, but we get 3 5th level packed spell slots. We can use these to cast anything, but we are going to use them to cast Banishing Smite. At its max level, it doesn't scale higher than this, but it deals a 5d10 of force damage, right? Force damage, which is never resisted almost. Now our damage changes for our big boom boom round. Our big boom boom round, we deal 2d6. I'm going to write everything out again just to figure it out. 2d6 from surprise attack, 2d6 from sneak attack, 1d4 from the mark, 5d10 from Banishing Smite, and we can pump a 5th level Warlock spell slot into Eldritch Smite for 6d8, right? 1d8 plus 1 per level of the spell, plus another d8 per level of the spell slot, so 6d8. And 1d8 from Dread Ambusher, and 1d10 from our crossbow. Cool. So we deal just 4d6, not 7 anymore. 4d6, 1d4, 5, 6d10, and 7d8s of damage. So, when we crit on our sneak attack round, that is 8d6 fireball damage, 2d4, 12d10, and 14d8. Jesus. All of which is plus 6, right? From our heavy crossbow. Plus 6. So 48, 8, 120. 14 times 8 is 112. Plus 6, but that part we don't deal with yet because we have to figure out the dice maths. So 48 plus 8 plus 120 plus 112 is 288, divided by 2 is 144, plus half the number of dice, so 8, 10, 24, 36, so plus 18 is 162, plus 6 from our crossbow is 168 expected damage on that sneak attack. That's pretty nice. That's one shot, one kill from a lot of monsters. Like a lot of them. Maybe not 17th level foes, but it's like half the hit points off of a 17th level foe. That's crazy. That's cool. We could go higher in Warlock. We could get higher level spells slots, but none of them are going to do anything for us. And we only have 3 levels to go. We could get another ASI at 12. In fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get an ASI at 12. And the reason that we're going to get this ASI will we get another invocation. Are there any cool ones? Oh, Life Drinker. Yeah. Okay, we get to get Life Drinker. That's super cool. Okay, Life Drinker, when you hit a creature with your packed weapon, the creature takes extra necrotic damage equal to your charisma modifier. That adds a flat +5 to our total damage. So 168 goes to 173. Very nice for 1 level. And then we get an ASI as well at this level, so it's super duper worth it. And we're going to put that ability score improvement into the Piercer feat. I think it's the only way we can get more damage right now. The Piercer feat increases our strength or dexterity. We don't actually care about doing either, but I think our strength is, nope, it's whatever. Maybe we would have put a +1 in our strength, and now it's 10. Yay for us. It's not good, but it's fine. We don't actually care about that. What we're here for is sort of a mediocre element of the thing, but it works and it counts for our damage. So once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals piercing damage, you can re-roll one of the attack's damage dice, and you must use the new roll. With the d10, if we roll a 1, we can increase the average total damage that we roll on that d10 by like 1, so maybe we get 1 more damage from this, that's fine. But when we score a critical hit, you can roll 1 additional damage die when determining the extra piercing damage the target takes. So that extra damage die doesn't get doubled, but it is an additional d10 to our damage on a crit, which we are going to do consistently with our sneak attack, so we can add 5.5 as half a d10 to our total expected damage. So it goes up to 178.5, which is nice. Cool. And that's worth it for just the 1 more level in Warlock, because we only want, the only benefit we can really get from really any class we go, well, we could go Fighter and we could take Action Surge, and that would be neat, but we're not going to. We're just not going to, is to go 2 more levels in Rogue and get another d6 of sneak attack damage. And another ASI. Get Sharpshooter and shoot from further. Just round it out perfectly, right? We're not going to calc in the extra 10 damage, which we could, but we won't. Maybe we just take Skulker and we just are able to hide all the time, and when we miss, which we shouldn't, but if we miss, it doesn't reveal our position, and potentially doesn't into start combat. Maybe. We also get Uncanny Dodge, a little bit of survivability, but most importantly, one more d6 of sneak attack for 3.5 average damage, takes us to 182. And that's our total level 20 damage. Burning spell slots, burning stuff, all on one attack. Obviously, if we shoot them with Gloomstalker extra attack and we count that, it's way more damage. If we shoot them with a bunch of other attacks, or if we were going fighter and we had more attacks to use, that would be way more damage. If we had Thirsting Blade instead, just from Warlock, it would be way more damage, probably, more consistently. But I don't care. I wanted to build around one attack that absolutely whomps a creature. And to be clear, the 182 is average. If you roll well, and you might, and get familiar with a dice roller, if you roll well, you might be dealing 240, 260, 280 damage in that round instead. That's awesome. If you can get somebody to cast Holy Weapon and add a couple of extra dice of damage to you, that's awesome. You're a really cool sniper, and I like this build. We built toward a purpose. I think we stuck with our build for that purpose. I think there are a bunch of ways to make a character concept like this happen. Going Warlock just worked for us because Hexblade happens to pick up a couple of the spells that we wanted. I solidly wanted or considered being just Ranger, Rogue, Bard, and then using Magical Secrets to fill out all the spells that we wouldn't get from other things, and just having a delay on getting Branding Smite, which is our core bonus action damage add-on that we use for most of our character's career. It's fully up to you what you would want to do, however you want to play this. Let me know in the comments section how you would build an ultimate sniper for one shot, one kill, and whether you would do something and go like Gunslinger or something like that. I think it makes sense to do that. But go ahead and drop that in the comments and let me know. I appreciate it a lot. I've been able to record this despite being sick and feeling pretty bad, and I'm sort of getting worse. But I'm going to be done with recording for the day, I think. I'm just going to edit stuff for the rest of the day and maybe upload a couple more videos onto the second channel for the rest of the day, and hopefully that'll be good and fun and fine and all right for me. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your viewership and your support and your help. You can support me down on the Patreon if you'd like to. Appreciate it a lot. And I'll see you the next time I decide to do one of these, which hopefully will be soon. Peace.